Welcome, everybody. Moose Milk Podcast, episode 14. Friday night. Just going to wait for Matt to join us, but we are going to be talking about Falcon and Winter Soldier, episode 4. Matt's here. He's quick on the ball today. And, yeah. Probably other things, too. But thank you for joining us as Matt joins. There he is. Look at that cutie.
I'm on it.
What I like to call you is my Turkish delight.
Turkish delight. I love Turkish delight.
Never had one in my life, but they say it a lot during episode 4 of Falcon.
You wouldn't like it.
Well, you know me better than
I don't think you would like it. Well, you're not really a big candy person in general.
So, I love my fuzzy peaches.
Yeah, they're like, it's like kind of like a almost like really chew. Is chewy even the right word? It's got a weird texture. It's kind of like a juju.
I like licorice. Is it like licorice?
It is. It is. It's not really. Yeah, it's not really. No,
I don't like it.
There's nothing really to compare it to because it's just its own thing. Have you ever had a Big Turk chocolate bar? It's like this weird gummy covered in chocolate. So that's like a Turkish
I like
delight.
when you open the podcast talking about.
It's just like this weird like gummy. Why are we talking about Turkish delight?
Why aren't we talking about Turkish delight? Welcome to Moose Milk Podcast. This is the Turkish Delight Podcast. We only talk about Turkish delight from now on. Every episode we eat Turkish delight and we talk about it.
Every episode we review a movie or a TV show where they eat Turkish delights. And we discuss how you get the powder off your fingers.
Songs that involve the word Turkish delight, even songs that involve the word Turkish. We're going to include it. How was your week, buddy?
It was good. Yeah, it was busy.
Yeah.
Been busy, yeah. How about you? Yeah, you were busy, right?
Same old.
Yeah.
Life is a nightmare. Ontario's back in lockdown.
Yeah, that's brutal. That sucks.
It's not great. Not what you want.
And it's for like a long time too, isn't it? Like 3 weeks or 4 weeks? Yeah.
4 weeks. I missed a second birthday thanks to lockdown.
No good.
What are you going to do?
Yep. It's true. Sucks though.
I'm an old man and I'm only getting older.
Okay. That's called life.
Yeah, it's a shame. It's a crying shame.
We're getting real tonight. Turkish delight? Turkish delight?
Turkish delight.
Turkish delight. That's the theme of the evening.
Exactly. Oh, dog.
Even dogs.
So yeah, if you haven't watched the episode 4 yet of Falcon and Winter Soldier, just forewarned, we are going to go into spoilers. So watch that. You can catch us back on over at YouTube after we record live. I post it every Saturday morning. So if you want to go over to the YouTube, search Moose Milk. On there, and you'll find it. Links in my profile as well. And so what'd you think of the episode, buddy?
I thought it was really good.
Oh, it's so fucking good, dude.
I thought isn't that end scene just like it was so fucking good. It was so good. I really liked it. I mean, I thought there was a lot of like kind of story building and kind of what I think is going to be they're kind of set. I felt like there was maybe like it was like a little bit of information to kind of get the next few episodes kind of ready to go. Yeah, but yeah, the like the fight with the Dora Milaje.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that was awesome.
That was fucking amazing. And then that whole last scene at the end there, like. I don't want to I don't want to. I have so much to say about that last scene, but like I don't want to just jump into that because it's like, all right, we'll just start right at the end.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you, and we should probably start at the beginning of the flashback in Wakanda. I love that scene.
Me too, eh?
Seeing how tortured and like he is with those words and everything like that, I think it brought so much life to my and then I kicked my phone. So much life to just the character and how he's feeling about the whole thing of being a soldier. Okay, dog, seriously.
Then again. You should come and hang out with Homer, and then I'll want to put a fucking gun in my mouth.
The bane of my existence.
But he's so cute, though.
He's adorable, but he's an asshole.
That's like my dog too. They're like the same.
Yeah. Yeah, I absolutely love the beginning of that episode, and I love the fact that they're including Wakanda in this whole thing, because I just think they're such like badass fighters, and that whole fight scene with New Cap, and all of them, like I just loved it. I was like, oh man, like again, this was written by one of the writers of John Wick, and it just like shows because the fights and the choreography is just dope.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know he was doing this one too. Yeah, I mean, I think both the fight scenes at the end were just really like they were up there in the series for like some of the better stuff. And I like some of the stuff they're doing with Carly and Sam. Like I like that dynamic a lot too.
That whole scene was awesome, and I mean, I kind of knew it was going to come that Cap was going to break in and like just out of frustration and ruin it, but like. You could just tell that, like, Sam and her have this connection and they're coming from the same place of, like, you know, coming back from the blip and the despair of not knowing where their place is in life and everything like that. And all the stuff that they set up with his sister and, like, the business failing and all that stuff kind of comes back into play now.
Yep.
And I really respected that and appreciated it. I like that, you know, they're kind of including that all back into it. So
I figured they would. I figured it would be a weird thing to spend an episode on if they weren't going to kind of put it to use somewhere. I didn't think of how it would be, but I figured we would have some sort of something with that. So
and when like they were going through the building searching for people that knew about
the girl,
mother or whatever it was.
Danya?
I thought for sure at that point, like, because as he enters each room, like, people are shutting the doors behind him kind of thing, locking him in. And I was like, oh, for sure, this building is wired and they're going to blow it up or something. Like, he's dead.
I was waiting for him to get ambushed, too.
Yeah, and, like, the fact that they didn't do that, I was very surprised because I was like, oh, this is definitely setting up, like, a huge ambush of some sort. But, yeah, like, and just, like, how awesome Zemo is and how, like, conniving and manipulative he is and, like, him talking to the kids and kind of manipulating them with candy and stuff. I was just like, oh man, I love this guy, man.
I like when he's like, my associate is up there.
Yeah.
And it's the little kid.
It's so good. It's so good.
It's so funny.
Like, yeah, just him feeding the candy to the kids and stuff, and then him just like, oh, I love the kids were cute or whatever, and I was just like, oh, I love this guy, dude.
Cute kids.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Zemo's awesome. Like, I really hope they don't kill him off by the end of this because, like,
I don't think they will. I think he'll escape and.
Yeah, he's the next Loki, in my opinion. Like that charismatic, you don't know which kind of side he's playing, and like he's in it for himself, and that's it. And like I don't know, he's awesome.
Do you know anything about him in the comics?
Not really. A little bits and pieces. Like he has like a sword or something in the comics, doesn't he?
Yeah, I think so, but I don't really know about that. The thing that like I think would be cool, and I don't think they've ever really alluded to it much, but like in the comics, there's a point where like the Avengers like disappear, and Zemo takes a bunch of supervillains and makes a fake superhero team, like using like all these villains play different versions of the Avengers. So like Matt Gorgon, who is Scorpion and Venom at one point, plays Black Suit Spider-Man, and like Zemo plays I think he plays like their Iron Man or something like that. And he's like, and now that we're seeing he has money, like he could probably fund something like that too, right? And like, you know, in this world, they could take like Abomination for their Hulk. They could take like, you know, even like US Agent for their Captain America. But basically, these guys all go incognito as heroes when really they're actually villains.
That's really cool.
Yeah, so like, I mean, I don't know if that would ever happen in the MCU, but I'm sure they could make that work, right? But
oh no, totally. I think that'd be really cool, even if it's just like a what if type thing in that like animated series that they want to do. Yeah. Like, I think that'd be a really cool like side story of just like what if these guys were the Avengers, or like they take over for the Avengers after they disbanded or whatever. Like that'd be really cool to see. But I mean, obviously the whole episode kind of pivots around the fact that John Walker / new Captain America is clearly like power crazy or losing his mind or whatever.
He's fucking unhinged, man. That guy is.
He's very unhinged, and then he ends up finding the last vial of super soldier serum and takes it, and now he's just out of control completely. And like that sets up the last 2 episodes in like the most perfect way ever. Like I can't
even wait to start the next episode because it's going to start with like news clips of like what happened. Yeah. So at the end, for anybody who didn't watch it, I don't know why you're this far in, but yeah, when he like I don't know if he decapitates him, but I mean like, you know,
pretty close.
Yeah, there's no way that like,
he's not living.
Yeah, that's for sure. He essentially decapitates a guy out of revenge in public in front of everybody while they're filming. Like,
yeah, for killing his partner.
Crazy.
Earlier in the episode, he just basically wants full on revenge and just murders a dude like in public.
As soon as what's his name takes that hit, I keep forgetting his name, Battlestar takes that hit at the end. As soon as he took that hit, I was like, that killed him.
Yeah.
And then as soon as he dropped and did like I was like,
I kind of knew that they were going to kill him off when they were sitting at that table and that person comes up for the autograph and they're kind of having that like heart to heart moment.
Yeah.
Like, oh, he's dying. Like either this episode or next episode, he's definitely dying. They're setting that up right now.
I didn't necessarily think he was going to happen so quickly though. Like I didn't think.
No, me neither. But I mean, even during the fight between Cap and the Wakanda like warriors or whatever, and the fact that like Cap gets his ass beat and then he gets up and he's like, they weren't even super soldiers and I had no chance of fighting them. I was like, I love the fact that like they're setting up how desperate he is to be the most strong person in this group.
Yep.
And the desperation of him living up to the original Cap's level of badassery, but also like wanting to do things his way, and it's just awesome. And like even going up the stairs, like in a scene, he's like holding his gun outside of the shield, like ready to blow somebody away, and I'm like, that's not what Captain America would have ever done. Like,
it's funny because I was watching it with Kate, and I said, I'm like, it's America.
Yeah. Well, exactly. I mean. It's spot on, but it's. I mean, I don't even know if that's intentional, but like it's definitely accurate.
Totally.
Yeah, and
I
so
there's a lot of like social issues that are definitely being showcased in this show.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
and I mean, they couldn't have known that. Like, I mean, the last few weeks in the States, there's been shootings.
Yeah, I think that's maybe a bit coincidental, but.
It's definitely coincidental because there's no way they could know it. But I mean, it's just such a common happenstance in the States that, like, it's sadly they could have released this any year and they probably would have had the same coincidence.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I just love how uber violent these last 2 episodes have been, and like
totally,
I would not have expected that going into this at all.
Like. As soon as he gets up from when Battlestar's killed, and he has that like kind of look in his face where he's just kind of like looking down. I'm like, this shit is gonna get fucking crazy in a second because that guy looks insane. Like he looks.
He lost his soul in that minute, right? Like he lost. What keeps him grounded was like his friend, the voice of reason in his head of like. Yeah. Hey, you're doing this for the right reason. You're the the guy that has 3 whatever golden stars or whatever they call it in the army, like
Medal of Honor or whatever,
3 Medal of Honors or whatever it is. I'm not a military guy, so I can't speak to that. But like they were saying, he was the voice of reason, of his voice of you're this army guy that does the right thing, and but he was also that voice of egging him towards the super soldier serum, like. Could you imagine what would have happened if during the fight in Iraq or whatever the hell they called it,
if we had the serum,
you had the ability to protect the people with the super soldier serum, we wouldn't have lost our friends or what have you. And like, I don't know for sure. I mean, I think he would have taken it regardless, but I definitely think that was like the push over the ledge to get him to take this.
Yeah, it's been interesting watching him struggle with if he should or not. But it's like, we all knew it was going down, so it's like,
yeah. And I mean, I love that scene of seeing Zemo smashing all the vials and everything like that, and then you don't know that the one trickled away behind like a water bottle or whatever the fuck it was, and him seeing it, like him walking into the room and just smashing Zemo with his shield and all that. Like I was just like, oh.
As soon as he did that, I was like, dude, that's fucking. He just.
Yeah,
like, I'm surprised he got up from that one. Like,
no, exactly. Like,
what's it called? Shield, like a vibranium shield, right?
Vibranium. Yeah, that's a concussion.
Yeah, really.
I really hope that Sharon Carter is teamed up with Wu from WandaVision, like as some kind of X-Files type thing that they were talking about, like. If they included those two and then like Darcy in the background as like the tech girl that was amazing. Like tech to like examine mysteries throughout the like Earth or something like that, like I think that's like an awesome series. Like
that would be so fun.
Like fun. Just like weird like because now that we know all the alien shit is real and going on, like they could be exploring like weird alien shit that's taking place on Earth or like weird time lapses and like in. You know, because people have traveled in time now, like stuff that's happening here and there, or leftovers from superheroes that destroyed cities or something, like weird mysteries that are going on, and like I would love to see those three team up in a standalone.
That'd be super fun. Yeah. I feel like Sharon's a bit like dark right now, though. Like, so I think that something would have to change there because like. Jimmy Woo and Darcy are like the most lighthearted fucking fun you're gonna have, and she's like they're drinking fucking margaritas and she walks up and like shits in them both. Like just like total fucking
no. I mean I think by the end of the series though she's gonna get her US citizenship back. Like I think it's gonna end on a happy note for her right now. I mean, maybe not. Maybe she'll die by the end of the series. I don't know. So, I hope not too. I think she's a badass, and like I just want to see her more shit. So, especially with them killing off Black Widow, like that's a role she could definitely take over. You know?
Yeah. I think I mentioned. I think that next Black Widow is just gonna be the other Black Widow, like Yelena. Right?
Yeah, very well could be. I mean, I just think like that badass spy role is definitely like Sharon Carter. Like she's
well, she handles herself like Black Widow does too, right? Even when she was whooping ass last week, she beat up like fucking like 15 bounty hunters by herself.
Yeah, exactly. Like I don't know. I think she just kills the role, and I really hope she continues on in the different series. But what do you think about the Power Broker? Like obviously they're setting it up that he's going to play a role in these last two episodes somehow because he was promised the vials of some way through, you know, the Flag Smashers or whatever. They had some kind of deal that they've now broken. Where do you think that's heading towards?
I don't know. I don't even know. Yeah, I feel like the reveal of whoever the Power Broker is going to be a big deal.
Yeah,
I feel like whoever that is, and I think the Power Broker is just like, you know, like a name they're calling him for now, right? But like I think, whoever that is, I think it's going to be kind of a big deal. But I honestly don't have any idea where they're going with that. Like
this is my theory, and I mean I don't know enough about a lot of things to make this have any value whatsoever. So I could be totally speaking out of my ass. But could this be the Mandarin setup?
Well, Mandarin's being introduced in Shang-Chi, like the real one.
Right. But that's what I'm saying is could this person that's the Power Broker be the Mandarin, and we just don't know that yet. And they're setting that up for Shang-Chi.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I feel like it has to have somebody. I feel like it needs to be somebody that would like have something to gain from the super soldiers here. I mean, I guess Mandarin would, but I don't know. I'm not really sure.
I just think that would be like a clever way of reintroducing that whole concept, just because for the people that don't follow this as closely as me and you do, like the fact that they kind of killed off the Mandarin of what we thought was a Mandarin in Iron Man 3, and now we know that he's coming back in Shang-Chi, the real Mandarin. Like, I think that would be an easy way to, we think he's a power broker, we think that's, his villainous name or whatever, but then by episode 6, we find out, like, this is the real Mandarin, and then, that sets up Shang-Chi. Maybe this whole series ends with the first trailer for Shang-Chi.
Yeah. Totally. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't doubt the connection if they can, but yeah, I don't know. And again, though, like that side of the Marvel universe in the comic books is like, that's not my strong point. Like, I'm not an Iron Man fan. I was never an Avengers fan. So like, even those characters, like in the comics, I know whatever I got from the trading cards or from the little Marvel encyclopedia that I used to have. Like that's how I got my knowledge about superheroes. Like that weren't.
I was a Spider-Man and X-Men kid.
Yeah.
And outside of that, I was a Batman guy. So like, I don't know a lot outside of that. Like, I mean, I picked up things here and there, but so anybody in the comments that knows anything more, I mean, feel free to comment. But I don't know. I just kind of thought like maybe that's where they're heading with it. And I saw my buddy sent me an article that had a comment from, I can't remember who it was from. I think it was the showrunner of Falcon, maybe, or I don't know. But they said that the next episode they're introducing a major character.
Yeah, didn't he say you're gonna cry? Isn't that what they said? Episode 5 will make everyone cry.
Yeah, something along those lines, in that they were introducing a new character, a new major character. So, I mean, that could be anything at this point. Yeah. Like, who knows? But
do they mean like a new person that we've never met before, or they're gonna? Okay.
Yeah. So, well, that's why I kind of thought maybe it was finally like, obviously the power broker has been revealed as a name, but we don't explain it. So, like, I mean, that would be a major, I assume, the next major, like, character that they would introduce. But, I mean, it could be anything. Like, we don't know Shang-Chi. We don't know, we haven't seen She-Hulk yet. She-Hulk's going to be a series with Tatiana Maslany. Like,
imagine it was Mr. Sinister.
Yeah, like, I mean, they could do a lot of things with it, right? And, like, it'd be awesome to see some of this stuff, like, start coming through. Like, who knows? Maybe because they set up Madripoor or whatever the hell it's called, like, maybe it would be an X-Men or somebody.
A mutant.
That would be an X-Men. Like, that totally could happen. And at this point, I don't put anything past Marvel. Like, they kill it so well and introduce things so subtly that, like, just, 6 years from now, we'll see a breadcrumb from this that, like, sets up something else. And, like, I love that.
Me too. And I like that the way they set up their model. They can jump around the timeline. Like, if they forgot something in the background, they can go back to it, like, in a later movie and be like, oh, this is why there was no memory or mention of this. Or, you know what I mean? It's like, I like that they clean things up. Like, I think a lot of people kind of thought, like, after the blip and everyone came back, they were going to just not want to talk about it. But they've ended up really using it to, like, elevate their storylines and add way more depth to it, right? Where you're like, most of the fans at this point were just like, they don't even really think about it anymore. But then you, like, can use it to add all these different twists and turns to your story, and it's awesome.
Yeah, well,
so cool.
I did see a thing online where people were like, well, in the what was the second Spider-Man movie there?
Far From Home.
Yeah, like, they seemed like everybody was, like, stoked about all the, like, people returning.
Yeah.
And, like, it's kind of like a tonal change now, because we realize that, like, maybe people there were stoked, but around the world, in maybe less fortunate places in the earth, like, there was definitely less people stoked about it, because homes were hard to come by, jobs were hard to come by, so on and so forth. So we're seeing this from a different angle of, it's not just the United States or just New York City or whatever the case may be. It's, we're seeing this in a, Asian community or an African community, like, whatever the case may be. So, I like seeing it from a different angle, and I like that they're trying to explore that. I also think that, them building out all these characters definitely makes them able to do really interesting series further on. Like, you know, even if WandaVision's a one season show and Falcon and Winter Soldier's a one season show, they can now spin this off into a Zemo show. They can spin this off into a Sharon Carter show. Like, there's so many different stories they can tell within this. They have infinite content.
And the cool thing is like the platform that they're doing it on, like they don't even need to really be fancy about it. Like, cause I was laughing and I'm like, the first one's called WandaVision. The second one's called Winter Soldier and Falcon.
Yeah.
Like they're just not
the names aren't
like,
creative at all.
But I mean, like that because it's like you have the flexibility and like you never have to do, you know, like the next version of Falcon can be like Falcon and somebody else, or you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Falcon
totally.
and Ant-Man.
And I mean, at this point, I would watch like just a Winter Soldier show. Like,
yeah, me too, totally.
I think that would be really interesting, and like I love him and I love the character, and like I really hope that they continue on with him as a main focal point of this universe, because I just think he kills the role. And like
I've never really been a huge fan like of the character in the MCU, but like since we've been watching this, like he's like, it's just, again, it's that long form narrative that like really helps like build emotion for characters, you know what I mean?
Well, it's hard to in a 2-hour film really like have massive character development for a side character, right? Like in a Captain America movie, you don't want to spend 40 minutes on Winter Soldier.
Yeah, no, I get
so
that,
yeah, so when you have a 6-hour long, you know, show, you can learn about him and show the depth of the character, and you know, credit to him for showing off his acting skills and showing the depth of the character and showing the emotion of like what he's gone through and how it affects him and everything like that. Like, I love that aspect. The fact that he's still harboring this like kind of grievance towards Sam about giving up the shield and all that. I love that aspect of like, you disappointed my best friend, but like you're a good guy, but like why would you give up the shield type thing is like I find that really interesting. And I also love that Falcon doesn't really have, you know, he's not a super soldier. He's just a guy with tech. And I like when like he goes to kick somebody that he's using like the wing fuel off the back to like power the kick and stuff like that. Like I think it looks awesome.
That you say that, because I actually said that when we were watching it tonight when I was watching with Kate. I actually made a comment about that. I was like, I love that he like isn't super strong, but he just really utilizes his tech well. Like
yeah. He's like Batman, but like not, you know what I mean? Like even when like there's a guy coming up behind him, he put on the jets on his back to like burn the guy and make him back off, and then like he spins around and uses the jet to power his kick and stuff like that. I'm like, he's a badass. Like I love him.
Yeah, I know, it's sick, man. It's so dope. I love Falcon for that. It makes me jealous that all the toys none of the toys could ever do anything like that, because the wings are just straight. It's like I just want to be able to like hold it like in front of him like he does when he's shielding himself.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Love that. It's so cool.
Yeah, I also want to really quickly talk about that Loki trailer because I think it was badass.
Looks fun. Looks really fun.
Yeah, like
okay, well we can finish up on that, but yeah,
okay.
Yeah, a little bit more about Captain America. So like, what do you think happens now with Cap? Like, what do you think?
So, I don't know. There's many ways they could go with it, right? Like, this goes viral on, you know, whatever
it's
fake media channel they want to use.
It's not happening. It's for sure.
Yeah, I'm going to say
there was
YouTube.
Like 100 people there.
Right. I'm going to say YouTube, but like it may not be YouTube in the universe, but like whatever viral social media they really want to use. I assume this is going to go viral and everybody sees Cap killing people. I don't know what route they're going to go with it, but like my assumption is the U.S. military is going to want to find him and he's going to be on the run. Yeah. Whether, I don't know which, like he could team up with the Flag Smashers or he could be still against them and have Falcon and Winter Soldier after him to like capture him. I don't know which way they want to go. Like, does Zemo team up with him and kind of try to betray the others? Like, there's a lot of different routes they could go with it.
I don't see him teaming up with the Flag Smashers because they killed his best friend. So I feel like
I agree.
I think
but like
this is going to be revenge based.
I agree with you, but like it's kind of like the Dark Knight when like Joker corrupts Two-Face into like helping his cause kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like I could kind of see them kind of trying to like use that against him as like, you see what they did to you? Like this wasn't our fault. This was, the corruption of the government, the corruption of superpowers, the corruption, whatever they want to use to kind of like get him on their side or whatever. I don't know. I mean, it's probably not likely, but I just think there's like so many different ways they can fool with it. But obviously, he's going to be out for blood.
Yeah.
So does he try to just start murdering all the Flag Smashers and like?
Yeah, that's what I wonder.
He's just trying to like brutally kill these people, and Falcon and Winter Soldier are trying to stop him while the military's chasing him. Like that's another route.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I. It's weird because I don't know how. Like in the end, I see him staying alive, and in the end, I see him being a superhuman. But like, I just don't know. I can't imagine how it would happen because I just like he literally killed someone out of revenge in broad daylight.
Okay,
in public.
But so did Wanda. I mean, she blew up a building. It was accidental, but she murdered, hundreds of people probably.
It's different when it's not revenge based.
It is. Don't get me wrong. But I mean, there's an arc where the character can learn from his wrongs and become the hero.
Yeah.
I look at it more as what do they want to do with this character? Like, obviously, I assume we're not going to get a Captain America 4 where he's Captain America. Mm-hmm. My assumption is if we ever get another Captain America movie, like titled Captain America, it will be Falcon as Captain America.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But where does he fit in? Is he just like a part of SWORD maybe as like this like, American agent badass? Like, I don't know. I don't know where he fits in the future of this universe, but I think he may die by the end of the series. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if they kill him off.
It's weird because I never try to base too much off of toys because I know toys are generally based on like concept art that's given to them like pretty far out. So usually a lot changes.
Sure.
This is a really good example of that. This is the big giant guy from what's it called? The guy who wears a full jumpsuit. This is the toy they made of him because that's what they based it off of. But that's how different it changed in the time that it came out to when the movie came out.
Yeah, well, it's like anything, right? Like you're handed art assets.
Yes. Yeah, you can't
show art assets. So this is what we want to do with the character, and then that gets handed off to animators or special effects artists or what have you, and the character changes and gets developed, and they see the original art of it and go, well, that's not exactly possible with making it like look good in CGI, so we're gonna change this and that and this and that. Meanwhile, the plastic manufacturer who's making the action figure goes, well, we can't do that in plastic. Like, we're going to stick with what we originally got, and it changes. But I don't know. Like, I could see in episode 6 where they kill Captain America and Falcon gets handed the shield, and that's John Walker.
The reason I brought the figures up was because the figures for this show they leaked. So like they didn't get officially shown by Hasbro, but they like were found. Somebody found them like in box, like in hand, and
in a store or like in a warehouse or something.
Yeah, I think it might have been in a warehouse, but someone has them. Someone has them in hand.
Okay.
So in those figures, John is wearing black and red, which is US Agents colors. Mm-hmm. And then they put out a new, like a limited edition one that like comes in his Captain America costume, his blue and red colors. And it's in like the box, like from the episode where he's introduced, and like the kids gives them the toy box to sign, and it looks just like that. Like it's designed like that.
That's really cool.
Yeah. But yeah, it was weird because that one's blue, but the one in the actual wave is black.
Yeah, so they definitely made two different figures, probably. So what have they announced when they're like announcing the figures for the show? Like, is there like a date?
They never do. It usually happens when the Pete character shows up. So like the first one they showed was White Vision so there's a Disney Plus wave coming, and it's like Wanda, Vision, Sam, Bucky, Zemo, Loki, and I think that's it, maybe. And then there's probably a Build-A-Figure in there as well. So
is that like announced at the D23 or whatever the hell it's called?
No, right now it's just like that's the leaked list, but it's the leaked list right now is being played out exactly as that. Like White Vision was introduced in episode 8 of WandaVision or whatever. The next day, the week on the Monday, they revealed the White Vision figure, and then on the last episode where Wanda got her new costume, the Monday after that episode aired, they revealed Wanda in her new costume, and then they did the same thing with Zemo after his first release, the first week where he was actually a character in the whole show, like week 3. And then, they haven't shown Sam or Bucky yet because the other spoiler is in the Build-A-Figure in that wave, which I won't say because I don't want to ruin it. But yeah, so they haven't officially shown Sam or Bucky yet. But again, they've been shown in like hand pictures. So
it'll definitely be interesting to see where they end the show because
I agree.
I hope that Sam gets handed the shield as like one of the last scenes of the episode. And he's new Cap, and it kind of ends there. But I would really hope that they use Winter Soldier as like his sidekick. Like,
me too.
I hope that they stick these two characters together and they become kind of that like buddy kind of, buddy cop thing that we've talked about, because I just think they have just such a fun dynamic together, and the actors clearly like each other enough where they can play off each other in a fun way. So
it's funny that you say that because I actually noticed something in this episode. They both in this episode referred to the other one, to Zemo, in like a positive manner. Like when Zemo was talking about how all super soldiers are bad, Sam's like, "What about Bucky?" And then when what was the reference for Sam? Oh, when they were all ready to go in and bust in and like stop Sam from talking to Carly or whatever. He may not have been with Zemo, but maybe it was. I can't remember. But he's like, give him time. He's like, he knows what he's doing, right? Like he knows. I just thought that was kind of interesting because it's like this is the first episode where like they both have kind of been like for each other. Like you can kind of almost see like that team, that camaraderie kind of coming together, right?
They know each other's strengths and weaknesses, and they respect each other in a way. Maybe not as a friend, but respect him at, I know his skills and I know what he's good at, and he can handle this, and he doesn't need me to help, kind of thing. Mm-hmm. But I also thought when Zemo says, when Falcon is talking to Zemo about like, what about Winter Soldier or whatever, I really was scared to see like that outcome of like, oh man, they're gonna have to kill him at some point or something like that. Like, I really, really hope that this doesn't end in one of them dying, because
me too.
I'm so disappointed. I'm so disappointed. Like,
especially because now I'm way more invested in both of them. So it's like 100%. I'd love to see more, whether it's together. I do like them together. I do agree with you. The buddy cop is fucking perfect in this case.
But like I said, like I watch a Winter Soldier show, like seeing him kind of try to make up for all the damage he's done throughout his life, like just that early scene with the old Asian man and him trying to date and have a relationship and like all that stuff, like I would love to see that dynamic continue of like just him trying to, it doesn't even have to be like, a full series, but like just something along those lines. Like, I think that's fascinating.
Yeah, humanizes him.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I don't know where they're going to go with it, but like,
me neither.
I really love the dynamic of the show. Like, whoever wrote this show absolutely nailed the dialogue and the interactions, and I don't know. I really respect that.
Yeah. we can spend a bit of time on Loki now if you want, but I'll just end with this. After I watched it last night, that last scene where Cap fucking Captain America's the guy's head.
Yeah.
And it's even better because it's the guy who was like, I used to love Captain America.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they set that up totally. They knew what they were doing.
I love Captain America. He was the first hero I ever loved. Hope you love getting decapitated by him, bitch.
Yeah. What a nightmare, eh? It's like...
But anyway, so it's like I finished watching yesterday and like my stomach literally dropped when that happened. And I was I was like, what the fuck? And then tonight when I'm watching it, I kept saying to Kate, I'm like, oh my God, it ends so crazy. It made my stomach drop. So we're like watching it tonight, and it's right about to happen. Like it's when he jumps out the window and lands on the van, my stomach starts to go then, right? And I'm just like, I can feel like I'm like, oh my God, here we go. And then it happens, and I'm like, I react, and I look over, and Kate's just like, this is what we're waiting for? And I was like, what?
See, I don't know if it's like a me and you issue, but like I have that same thing where like my friend Chris was a few episodes behind, and I'm messaging him. I'm like, you got to catch up, man. These last 2 episodes were awesome. Like, you got to catch up. And he messaged me back, and he was like, yeah, they were great, but like I don't know what the big reveal you were talking about was. And I was like, Sharon Carter being a part of it, Wakanda, like what do you mean? He's like, well, I expected all that. That's not a big reveal. And I was like, what do you mean that's not a big reveal? Like, this is awesome that they're part of the show. Like, I hyped myself up expecting him to be hyped up, and then he's just like, oh, it is what it is. And I'm like, come on, man. I want you to be excited with me. I want you to feel that excitement with me. And like, me and you have that, but like, I don't know. I guess that's just like a me and you thing where a lot of people don't get that. It's not like
just you and me. It's a lot of people. It's nerds as a whole. All of us are gimping out over that shit.
Like, I mean, this is completely off topic, and you would have seen this maybe, but like nobody else would have, obviously. But like on my private Facebook profile, Elon Musk recently talked about, or I don't know, one of his people talked about how they could actually create a Jurassic Park. And all these people are like messaging or posting about like, did you not see the rest of that movie and how it ends up and whatever? And I'm like, oh my God, please let this happen. Let this happen. This is all I've ever wanted. I want a Jurassic Park so badly. It's my favorite movie of all time. I don't care if it goes bad. Let humans die off. I'm fine with that. I want dinosaurs so badly. I will sacrifice my own life to get eaten by a velociraptor. Just let it happen.
As long as they toss you around from one to the other.
Yeah, absolutely. That was the T-Rexes. But like me and my friend Brett always joke about the end of Jurassic Park 2 because the T-Rex is like escaping from the city, and all he wants to do is sit there and drink out of a pool. And like we always joke about like people have to protect their pool water because the T-Rex is going to come and drink it all.
Slurp it up.
And like
it costs $200 to fill that pool, son.
Exactly, that's what I'm talking about. So like, I want this to happen so badly. So I get that like fan hype. I get like,
I do too.
You know, and yeah, I don't know.
We don't need.
I don't know where I was going with all that, but like I just love that fan hype, that feeling of being excited about a moment or somebody that hasn't seen something you've seen and getting excited about like they're about to experience that moment with you. It's like one of my favorite things. It's like watching a show for the first time with somebody, like a girlfriend or a friend or what have you, of something you love, like Breaking Bad or Lost. Is something that I hold really close to my heart. They're two of my favorite shows of all time. So if I started dating somebody that had not seen those shows and get to experience that with them for the first time, it's like watching the show again for the first time. It's experiencing those moments through somebody else's eyes, and I love that feeling.
Yeah, it is cool. It is fun when you get that.
Yeah. But yeah, we should quickly talk about Loki.
We should talk about Loki.
I think that trailer was awesome.
Yeah, looks really good. I love Owen Wilson, man.
The fact that Owen Wilson's in it just got me that much more hyped for that show because he has that comedic timing.
Yeah, it's really good.
I love. and it's just the way he says things in like a rhythm that like just makes his comedy that much funnier to me. And yeah, like obviously we're gonna get repercussions for the time travel through this show, and like I'm very excited about it.
Did you hear that they've already signed him up for a second season? Did you hear that?
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know that. No, that's awesome.
I heard my buddy Elvin had mentioned it to me this morning when we did a live stream. I think he put it on his podcast too. But yeah, it's apparently, so it's kind of cool. They
signed Tom Hiddleston. Yeah,
for another Loki season. Yeah, that's
awesome.
The thing is like if he can just jump around from any time in the time periods and then trying to be fixed, like the possibilities of what they could do are endless. Like, and it wouldn't even have to be relevant to what's happening in the universe at the moment.
No, that's what I was gonna say. Is like if you get the right director behind some of these episodes, you could come up with some crazy things, and it doesn't have to have anything to do with anything else.
Yep.
Especially if if they start putting in like the interdimensional things where like different timelines and stuff like that, where he could end up in like crazy ass timelines where it could basically be like a Rick and Morty episode where like this world is batshit crazy and like, you know, everybody's made of spaghetti in this world, and like it's Tom Hiddleston going like, whoa.
He pops out in Wolverine Origins.
Right, exactly. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Is like stuff like that where it's like this doesn't have to make sense for the world. It can just be this one-off, 1 hour episode in this strange world where it's just his personality coming through the episode. And I cannot wait for that show.
Yeah, me neither. Yeah, I'm excited. It's only 6 episodes again, right? 6?
I know, and it's such a bummer, and it's like a 2-month wait. You know, that's the sad part.
That is a sad part. Hopefully, maybe it'll get moved back up again. Who knows?
I mean, I think they would have announced that by now if they were going to do it. I think they wanted to leave room for whatever that Star Wars thing is in May. That Bad Batch. Yeah. I think they wanted to give that space and give MCU a little bit of a break. Like we've got 2 series in a row, so let's leave a little breathing room in between that and Loki. I think that was their plan.
That's a good idea.
I also think that
for Bad Batch. Bad Batch should be fun.
Isn't it animated?
Yeah, it's animated. Yeah, you won't like it.
So we should talk about Invincible because
we should talk about Invincible.
I made the promise last week that I would watch the first, or at least an episode of Invincible. I did watch the first episode of Invincible. I kept my promise. I don't understand the thrill of the show. I don't understand the love of the show.
It's a great episode today.
I'm sure it's good. The animation sucks.
Yeah, I don't love the animation myself, but I can get over it.
I'm not trying to discredit the people that worked hard on the show. I draw at a maybe 3-year-old level, so I have no artistic ability whatsoever. I'm not trying to rip on anybody that worked hard on the show. It looked like a 1990s show to me. Like maybe that's what they were aiming for, but it looks like Spider-Man, like the animated series in 1992 or whatever the fuck year that came out. I just kept noticing how in the background, none of the background characters would move at all during a scene. They were completely statues as the main characters were speaking. All the background characters were just complete statues. Yeah. And I'm like, for Amazon, who makes millions and billions of dollars, the fact that they couldn't fund this to be well animated is just kind of ridiculous to me.
I don't know if I would agree that it's not well animated. I would prefer a more modern looking animation style personally, but I don't totally dislike. Like I think some of the charm in the character and like what he's supposed to represent, like I think some of the charm comes from that kind of like more 90s style animation. Like he's meant to be like this like iconic superhero, and it's just like I don't know. I feel like it plays really well for that, but yeah.
I just look at it more as you have infinite money. You are the Disney of your streaming service. I mean, you have more money than you could ever want to spend. If you want to make a new show, put the effort in making it as best as it possibly can be. And I understand that it's a business and you have to see the return on your investment and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I get that aspect of it. But the animation didn't appeal to me. If it was a live action show, I probably would have stuck around for it.
Yeah.
As I messaged you, like, it definitely reminded me of Kick-Ass in the, I'm a high school kid that doesn't really understand, powers or what have you. I mean, obviously Kick-Ass doesn't have powers, but like,
yeah, I see your connection to it, but I don't.
Yeah,
it's not valid. It's not accurate to what it is.
It's uber violent, and I'm going to be the next superhero type thing. Now, obviously, the ending of that first episode goes kind of off kilter and on a spin. I would say it's more a mixture of Kick-Ass and what's the other Amazon show that I love?
Oh, The Boys.
The Boys. It's a mixture of those two things.
Yeah.
I understand where it's heading, and like I almost wanted to watch the second episode by the end of the first episode just to see where the story goes.
Mm-hmm.
It's just completely unappealing to me that it's animated. Like the show, automatically, I'm like, this would be better live action. There's nothing within it that I wouldn't say would be better off live action.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I agree. I think we're getting a live action one though, so at least you'll have that as an option.
Yeah,
Seth Rogen's doing it, so. Yeah,
I love Seth Rogen, and I think I'm willing to watch pretty much anything he writes because I think he's a very funny man. But
me too.
Yeah, I just, to me, anything is better. Real live action, like anything.
Well, maybe soon you're going to get to meet more of the Rebels cast, because there's another thing I heard was that they may be looking to cast for Ezra and Sabine in the Ahsoka show.
Yeah, I mean, I think that was inevitable after Ahsoka in season 2 of Mandalorian. Like, everybody was expecting Ezra to be part of that show, and I mean, I don't know anything about the character, but I just kept seeing all the posts about, they're going to introduce Ezra now, blah, 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 blah. I think that was inevitable, regardless whether it was in Mandalorian season 3 or whatever spinoff they want to do.
Yeah, I agree.
I think that they realized the MCU model of building a universe and having characters interchangeable within each movie or each franchise is the route to go with Star Wars as well. And I think that they're going to utilize that now to build out the universe and have all these side characters matter and build out stories that aren't necessarily linked to the Skywalker family. Is now let's explore other side stories of this world.
If you think about it, that's really what made Star Wars so appealing to young people at the beginning, like back in the 70s when it was originally introduced anyways. Like, that's what did it, right?
Yeah, well, of course, all the side comics and side books and novels and all that stuff, like, that stuff was loved, and they kind of threw that all out when Disney bought them, but now they can build out their own version of those things, and everybody keeps saying, like, Old Republic is the next, like, franchise route that they should go with the next trilogy, is like an old, prequel.
Yeah, that's already happening. So
right, that was what I remember seeing, and like that's definitely, like, I love those video games. I think I only played the first one maybe, but Knights of the Old Republic on the original Xbox was awesome, and so yeah, I would love to see like something in that regards where it has nothing to do with Skywalkers. I don't want to see Skywalkers ever again. Like,
I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that too.
We've told that story. Let's move on from it. And I think they're learning a lot from the MCU of how to build a universe and how to build a franchise. And I wish DC would take a note pick from them, but
I don't.
We've gone down that road.
What was I going to say? I was going to say
5 minutes.
5 minutes. I don't remember what I was gonna say. I was gonna say something.
I like it. I like that a lot.
But I'm super excited for next week. I'm excited to see how they even start the show and how they spin this and what direction they're going to take. Because, like you said, they could go a lot of ways with Falcon Winter Soldier. They could start with him now being on the run, or is he working with Sam and Bucky to, like, are they working together, or
The best part of the show is it's 6 episodes. They're telling a full story in these 6 episodes, and there's no room for a waste of an episode. There's no room for that side story that has nothing to do with the main plot. And this is why television now is the best way to tell a story, is because, we're used to 2 or 3 hour movies, but, now you're getting 6 to 8 hours to really hone in on character development and actually telling a story you want to tell. And it works perfectly to me. Like, I think this is the route to go. So I can't wait to see what happens. I think these last 2 episodes are going to be really, really good. I really do.
I think your hand sample is really great and unique.
I don't know what that means. I saw that too, and I was like, is that because I speak with my hands a lot? I don't know.
It's funny.
I mean, I could be, if you want to pay me, I will be a hand model.
That'd be great.
I would love to leave my job. So I'm not going to speak ill of the company I work for, but if you want to hire me, I will do a lot of things for money. And one of those things is show off my hands.
Yeah, you will. Fancy
that girl. One was for free.
Hopefully they screenshotted
it. God willing. I'm going to end up on OnlyFans as a hand model.
And it's called Moose Knuckle.
Hey girl, you want to see these hands? That part's for free.
That's fucking great. I love it.
Anything else you've been watching that you want to talk about real quick?
No, because I've been still working on my stupid shelves. I'm almost done.
Right.
Yeah. Today was Hasbro Fan Fest, and it was, in my opinion, a pretty big letdown. They've been pimping this event.
I did see your quotes there,
yeah. Yeah. They've been pimping this event for like a month, and then they basically just showed off. They showed off something for every brand, which I guess is where it kind of makes sense for it to be a bigger deal. It's usually like every 2 or 3 Fridays, like they'll reveal something for one of the lines, kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
But, you probably get 2 or 3 different reveals among the 6 banners they do. But anyways, it was fine. Like, there was some okay stuff, but it was like pretty uninspired.
I think it's really hard for these companies to pivot to an online model only.
Totally.
And we're seeing that in the game industry right now with a lot of these companies. Like, we typically had E3, which for people that don't know was like a summer, basically like a Comic-Con type thing for video games where developers and industry people would all join up during June and show off Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo would all join up to show their next big games. And obviously with the pandemic and everything like that, E3's completely fallen off. So now they've all pivoted to online only models of showing off their next big games. And none of them have hit it out of the park yet, in my opinion. Anything they've done so far has been like very meh.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of these companies are trying to show something for everybody, but by doing so, they're also showing nothing for nobody,
right? Because
it's such a wide variety that half the show you're going, I don't give a fuck about this. Meh. And I feel like the game industry's really, really hit that. Is like they're showing a lot of games where I'm like, I have no interest in this game, and you're doing 10 minutes on this game. So I'm kind of assuming that that's probably the same in that regards. Is like,
yeah, maybe
these companies feel like they gotta show something for everybody, but they're not really showing anything for majority of people.
Yeah, we're gonna run out 27. Yeah. I guess what I'll just quickly say on that is like, it's probably harder because with these cons come a built-in audience.
Yeah,
for sure. So it's like when you have to bring that in yourself, it's a lot trickier.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, everybody, for watching. I appreciate you. Follow us, please, at Customs by Matthew.
Here we go.